Just a very quick intro for me, as this vlog is a bit of a deviation from the normal format. I've shared the full Audible version on Spotify so people can listen to it in their car. The link's below in the description. But I also wanted to share the video of the Fireside Chat with Nick Miguel from Semente Surfboards, because I think you miss a lot of the full force from the double team, which would be a real shame. Okay, enough from me. Over to Nick Miguel, the co-founders and owners of Semente Surfboards in Ericeira, Portugal. I hope you enjoy it. My name is James Davis. I'm originally a skydiver, and for over 10 years I competed and travelled around the world. When I started jumping, wind tunnels were just coming online, and they completely changed how people learned. So when wave pools began to appear, I wanted to see if I could do the same thing for surfing. Now this channel is about finding and showing the hidden gems that move the dial from great surfers and coaches, so everyday surfers can unlock new levels of progression, confidence and fun.
My name's Nick Miguel. Here in Semente Surfboards in Ribamar, which is a bit north of Ericeira, in Portugal, surfboard factory.
I'm Miguel, Nick's partner. So we started doing cement surfboards. That's what we started to do, like 1982. And we're still here. We're still here in Ribamar. That was the beginning. And not the end yet.
So was that 45 years or something like that?
43, wanna be 44, yeah.
So how does a Portuguese and an American surfer meet? How does the history?
That was funny. Where we met, that was funny.
Down in Costa Caprica, other side of the...
Was that just in?
We were just two surfers, not doing surfboards. That was in 1979 or 1980. 1979, and I didn't like the fucking Yankees.
Yeah, we didn't like each other.
We didn't like each other, you know, on the water.
I looked at Miguel and he looked like he was too cool for his shirt. And he didn't want to talk to America. I was like, yeah, American.
No, that was it. When we first met, we didn't like each other, you know. But then with time, we stayed really good friends.
Yeah, and we hit it out.
And he was doing surfboards there, another label with a Portuguese guy. And during that time, we were really good friends. And his partner, you can tell the history, Nick.
Yeah, there was I think things were going kind of a bit sour, not the way.
Really nice guy, huh?
Yeah.
We all were really friends.
Super nice guy. The other guy, and a very talented guy, but things that just became, it was a heavy period in Portugal for heavy drugs. And there was a lot of, that going on Costa Caprica. And I just came to the conclusion that that's not what I wanted to be involved in at the time. So I kind of wanted to get out of there, out of the environment where I was living, because I was living with this guy in the house, was becoming kind of a heavy environment in that. And Miguel at one point had stated that he would, if I ever wanted to, if he ever wanted to do surfboards somewhere else, give him a shout, we'll do something. And I remember one morning he came by and he said, hey, let's go surfing. I said, I don't feel like it. It was kind of a party night before. I said, I don't feel like it. He said, what's the matter with you, man? Surf's cooking. And he left, and I remember sitting in bed thinking, I got to get out of here. And I went to the beach and met Miguel and said, Miguel, I got to get out of here. And so we went ahead and said, where are we going to do this? And like I told you before, we picked the most amazing place to do it for lifestyle-wise, but not for business. It was out.
We were young. We wanted to surf, and this was our main goal in the beginning. Wow. When we started, we never thought that we're gonna. If you ask us on the first month or on the first year that we're here, what you gonna do in the future? We don't know. Let's go surfing.
Should make some surfboards up in Ericeira, which was at the time. Now it's like 25 minutes from Lisbon. At the time, you're talking 2 hours. 2 hours. 2 hours.
Down the highway, nothing,
And so it was like, not many people had cars back in the day. The roads were horrible. There wasn't a lot of extra money rolling around. So, to do a surfboard building company in Ericeira,
the wrong place at that time.
We didn't even have a car, Without a car, you need resin runners, you need blanks, you need fiberglass, you need to go to the city, you need to sell boards to people that live in the city.
By bus.
Good business plan.
Was it well known, or, well, there weren't many people here, but how did you guys find out about the waves? Was it just from traveling and just moving up and down the Portuguese coast?
Well, everybody had it, you said, on the map back in the day.
I heard from people that surfed before me. Let's go, because I was surfing Carcavel, Luz Costa da Caparica, and people they were surfing before me. You must go. He say there is really the good waves. So we were coming by car. Yeah, it was. But it was like adventure, going to say
big times. You said it was like taking trips to North Shore, man. It was big times. And there was, 5 guys. One guy had a car. It might have been Miguel. It might have been some other guy. So you have 5 guys get together, gas money for everybody to drive up here.
And you came. He's no one.
Yeah, no one around.
There's no one in the surf. So it was adventure.
And it pumped, and it was beautiful. And you could, back in the day, camp on the beach in Rebeta Villas, with no one, a little river mouth, and a guy had a little snack bar there, and it was just different period. Like I say, the rest of the world was like that. I was telling you earlier, the world moves on, and it's all, gone on. But
so, empty lineups, good waves, positive environment. Yeah. Because that was aim for that, and you stayed.
Yeah. Backgammon, a bong here and there, Good time back in the day.
Life,
We were young.
Yeah, like I was 22, he was 23. So you imagine, we're living together on the same house. The factory, it was behind. How do you say behind? Embaixo? Below.
We lived up above the factory,
So if the surf was good, you were going surfing, and then we stay all night working if you have an order, or,
get on it. And it was, times when you'd be out of Cochise and, big day, you'd be out of Cochise or something. Someone rocks up, you're like, hey, come on out. Want some company. It was, it was crazy. It was different period. I'm sure it was like that in a lot of places,
Yeah, anyone who starts a business will empathize with this, that it's a lot of risk, there's uncertainty. It's very difficult to know what to do, but when you find a nice place and you have an interest and a passion, you've got to start.
Yeah. And we had a really passion, and it was a lot of nature at that time, Nick. The lizards and a lot of nature that nowadays with the buildings and that not anymore. And we love nature, and so we went to the nature too.
Yeah, right. Surfing, taking photos of. You had a camera.
Yeah.
Camera was like,
go take photos of the lizards.
Surf, whatnot. We had
big lizards, green lizards. Right? Now you don't see them anymore.
But it was also it was funny. Miguel's father was very business, so when we started,
as the money.
Yeah, he loaned us some money to start, and it wasn't a lot of money. We were there for what? 2.500.
Today, nowadays, it's like €1,000.
Yeah.
During the time, it was
to start the business. Okay.
It wasn't much, but it was some money.
Yeah.
But we had nothing, so.
But I mean, still €1,000. It wasn't that much. But I mean, if we think about when I flew over, my flight, when I first came over, my Freddie Lakers flight was like $1,000, and it was the cheapest flight on the market at the time from California. Round trip with nothing, no food, no pillows, no blankets, nothing. Freddie Lakers, remember those flights?
Yeah.
Out of London or whatever? But that was $1,000. So we pretty much started the business with $1,000, but we had to present a plan of how we were going to pay it back,
Yeah. We have everything.
Responsibility, okay, $1,000. We got to buy our blanks, get our resin, because I didn't really take anything from the other place.
And you bring like 2 or 3 blanks, I reckon.
Yeah, maybe.
Just a few things, a bit of fiberglass. You bring something, I remember.
It's crazy, period.
Perhaps 10 kilos of resin.
Yeah. And we're like, this is good, let's go.
The factory, we missed.
Where was the first location then? Where did you, it was $1,000, how did you find
200 meters from here.
Yeah, down the road, on the road to Cochise right there. Yes, if you curve to Cochise, there's a road that instead of going to Cochise straight down, it was right down there. Just a little 2-story apartment thing. And we lived above and did the factory below. But the factory, I mean, we did miserable little factory setup. It was enough in the beginning. Not like we were fighting people off for orders,
No, it was just me and him working. And it was enough. We didn't have orders enough at that time.
Maybe less surfers, but also less shapers as well, less people with the knowledge.
Yeah. There was no one at that time when we started. It was Jasper.
Yeah.
It was the South African guy in Cascais.
Robbie.
But
there's probably
not many boards at the beginning. This is what was the beginning. You were doing
and Antonio was still making boards in Costa.
Yeah, Antonio still was making boards. But we were doing what, 5-6 boards a month?
Yeah, like nothing.
But it was enough for surviving and surfing.
We had
material again, because we must buy material again,
We had a friend up in Aveiro, Zé Barbosa, who has since passed away, but we would call him like, hey, it's a good friend of ours, you know, we need a drummer resin. And he would come down his van.
Because we had no car, you know.
He'd come down his van, drive over the river. We were buying it from a company over near the Villa de Frank, over that way. We'd buy it, put it in the van, bring it up here. He was like our savior. They would come. So we get, you know, get the resin drum up here.
The resin was paid for 3 months or 6 months.
And we finally got to the point where we figured, hey, we could probably import some blanks. So we got, 15 blanks or 15 or 14, 12.
Less from England.
Yeah. Oh, we got blanks from England.
From England.
We ordered some blanks, but we didn't have money.
Dark foam or I reckon it was dark foam, but from England. We imported from England.
But we didn't have money for the transportation and that. So we went to the
6
guy
blanks, I reckon. 6 blanks.
The biggest importation guy in Portugal, the biggest customs guy in Portugal. And we went and we marked a meeting with him. And we sat down with the guy. We said, hey, you know, we make surfboards up near this. We got this plan. We're going to bring these blanks from the guy's his coat and jacket and all that, and the tie and all that, sitting behind his big desk, these two like surfers in front of me. He said, we want to import these blanks and that, you know, and we wonder if you could do the transportation for us. Yeah, okay. He said, the only problem is we don't really have any money.
Custom, because it was no CE.
Yeah.
Also custom.
Yeah, the custom dispatching the, you know, getting it out of custom.
Frontiers.
All the duties, importation, all that.
Spain or France, it wasn't like nowadays. Nowadays it's open. England, not anymore, but...
So we laid all this out.
We need all this shit, you know.
Laid all this out to the guy, and we said, but we want to do this. She said, okay, but we don't have any money for that. And he looked at us and says, so what, you want me to be the bank? He said, I look like a
No,
bank.
I'm asking. You could loan us the money, and what we pay you like handsome. Hey, you look me like I'm a bank?
Okay. But then he laughed and he said, tell you what, he got a kick out of the whole thing, I guess. He said, tell you what, okay, I'll do it. In the first one. So we did, and we paid him back. And like, from then on, we rolled our own ball and paid our own bill and that. But, you know, we work with his son now. The guy passed away probably.
Yes, we still do
5 or 6 years company. But we still work with them, you know.
Sometimes you need these little breaks, don't you? To have
Yeah, but and he was always like super stoked, you know. He was always come up. He was a really nice guy, and it was a funny little story for him to tell. I'm sure these kids that came here and asked me if I could, you know, foot the bill for them in the first importation. But
also Luis Falcão. Falcão, we thought like he was the first big importer from blanks and Portugal.
Quicksilver import.
He started with Quicksilver in Portugal. And we at that time we were like buying 20 blanks to him. But we asked him, hey, like a loan. And he was the same, hey, I'm a bank. He was the same. But he was loaning his.
We turned a little serious, and we turned them all into bankers. First
And we told, hey, Mr. Falcão, but we pay you like in 2 weeks, we pay you one set. 2 weeks later, we pay you the other set. We made a plan with him. And if the plan wouldn't be correct, like days before, we would call him, hey, Mr. Falcão, like in 2 days, I can't pay you what I promised. It's more perhaps 1 week, is okay? Okay, because you're serious and you call me, you know? No.
We're in mid-flow. I did something silly. I should put a fresh one in. So
Okay.
So yeah, a catalyst. We went from just a few boards to something locally. So it sounds like getting those blanks, that first shipment, and then the next thing you're talking about. That seems like a bit of a shift in.
Yes, it was like that.
How did it take you from starting in the early 80s to get to that point? Was it like first year or something like that? 2 years?
After how long it starts to be more solid?
I think probably more than a year.
Yeah.
Was it 2 years, 2 years?
Because when like the first year we moved, after 1 year we moved.
Yeah.
So
we
it was
moved to another factory. So
where you went. So we were 1 year in this house. After 1 year, we went to this.
We had to move to the other factory.
So that was a big move. But the factory was like half, just half.
Not even, less than half.
Because it
Mechanic.
was mechanics cars.
It was auto mechanic shop. Well, that pavilion we're at now.
It was all mechanics shop. But then they wanted to be smaller, and we were knowing, and we said, okay, we stay with this area.
We kept half of it, or a little less than half.
Yeah.
And then they eventually left. We took the whole thing. Right. That became our factory. But the business was slowly growing along that period of time, you know, throughout the whole period of time.
Okay. All right. And what are the new factory? Did that bring more people into the business?
Yeah, slowly. We put Afonso. We had one, even in the house, we had the first employee.
Yeah, we had one guy in the first factory that came, helped us, for a while. And when we started the other factory, thing is that numbers started to grow. You start to do more boards. So then you need to teach a guy to sand, need to, teach a guy to glass. Miguel was taking care of more business. So we got more people in the factory,
I start with him. He teach me how to glass, how to paint. We were doing the fins. I was doing the fin plates. I was doing the hot coats. I was polishing, and Nick was shaping, was sanding, dry sanding, and was shaping the fins.
Jeez.
So then,
And we were both gluing the blanks.
yeah.
We had a national blank.
And then slowly you need someone else more to help. So we put another one. I still was there working with the phones and that. And then slowly I went out and business doing the numbers.
That's normal.
Yeah.
You have to wear many different hats to
No, and that's
justify all the
that you're lucky. Because I love numbers, he hates numbers.
I don't hate numbers. I don't like to look
it's a bit like that. Like you love handwork, he loves handwork. Doesn't matter what it is, and I hate it. So I say we're lucky. Because if we both just love numbers, perhaps no good. If we both I want also to be a shaper. Oh, I shaped like 50 boards and I told Nick, fuck this shaping, fuck. I don't like this shit,
I think
so we're lucky in this way,
I think there's one common ground, like with both of us in different ways, but we both enjoy people and get on with people. And we're good with people, both of us in different ways, but it's communication-wise, it's been, as far as the company goes.
There's a famous American industrialist. He's dead now, Charles Koch. And he said, any good relationship, private or commercial, is shared values, shared vision, and then non-overlapping skills. So if you have the first two things that you see, you have passion for
You throw them at me, yeah?
shared vision, shared values, and non-overlapping skills. So you don't want two people making boards, two numbers people. You need to bring us something.
Yeah. You need both.
Have to agree on values, vision. You're actually never going to.
Yeah.
I need your wife, say business math.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that makes a lot of sense. Okay, so new factory, starting to employ some people. What kind of boards were you making then? The single fins was like in the 70s, early 80s, twin fins.
Did everything. Single fins.
And the three fins.
Three fins started, but we're doing like in the beginning it was all glass-ons. On all the three fins were all glass-ons, and even quads we made with glass-on fins. Boxes, the only thing we were doing anything was on the single fins. We had boxes, but the rest was glass-on fins, which was making our own fin panels, cutting fins out, foiling fins, gluing them on. And at that period, it was like if the board wasn't working, sometimes with T-Mod, we'd knock the fins off, put them in a different position, change the outline of the fins on the board.
It worked much better, But you must take all the fin outs, and put new fins,
And, when the fin systems came in, it was, whole different ball.
Sometimes it was just because a bit of the angle, or he then was exploring all those things. The position also just changing a bit.
It was fun. Fun period. A lot of work, but it was a fun period,
So are you surfing the boards, getting a feel, and then going back and iterating the designs, or are you now having input from other surfers as well?
What's that?
Iterating the designs, like fin placements and so forth, and rails.
Yeah, that was all through surfing or trial and error with different, athletes and looking at other people's work too. Because Portugal's always been a melting pot for a lot of people come to surf here. Contest history is old in Portugal. There's been contests since the 80s, where the pros came over, and our factory was in a place where a lot of international surfers would come to surf, and a lot of really good surfers. So we had a lot.
Australians, South Africans, Americans, that they want to come inside. So they saw Semente, they go there, so he talk with them, and let me see your board and that. So he learned.
Richard Dodd Marsh came through years ago. We, changed the edge on his board because he said it had too much edge or too less edge, one or the other. We either put more edge on or took it off. I can't remember now, but, I met Dodd ages ago up here, and we had access to look at, people, whether they're traveling pros or traveling, hey, can you fix my board? Yeah, it's okay if I look at it, measure it up. Yeah, no problem. So had access to a lot of boards and saw what was going on in the rest of the world via the surfers that came through at the time, So it was it's a good place to be, I think, to pick up, a lot of information. Like, you know,
Yeah, we were on the center of
friendship.
surf, you know, that's...
We both had friendship. You were more friend of Neville Hyman's. You know, Neville Hyman out of Australia. Morris Cole did boards out of our factory at one point. You know, there's been, you know, a lot of guys you've met along the way, shapers. And shapers outside their own country, they're more apt to open up and talk a bit, you know, I think.
Bruce Smith, one of them, Bruce, really nice guy.
You know,
He lives in Chile now for many years.
one that works with 50 Gracie, Phil Grace, you know Grace, yeah? Phil Grace came down also. I mean, there's been a lot of good shapers through the factory and a lot of information. Yeah, but it was all trial and error. Like I said, when we first came up here, we had these short little wide things with, you know, big blocky rails with the edge way out here, you know, and you drop in at coasters, when you hit the bottom, you'd spin out. So we got to change rails, we got to change outlines, we got, you know, we had to change all kinds of stuff, you know, for the ocean, the ways we're surfing up here. So it was a learning period. It was good.
Nice. And this is all handshaked at the moment.
At that point it was, yeah. Yeah. We had Neville Hyman. That's why I say
Hefty machine.
we had this national blank that was like
Portuguese blank, then in North.
Portuguese blank, done them all up north. And this thing would come down the deck line, it would come from the nose. I mean, the nose was probably that thick. It'd come down the nose, hit the middle on the deck, and it had like this big camel in the middle of it, which was probably 9 inches thick, something like that. And Neville called Miguel at one point, said, yeah, man, come over to Portugal. Gonna do some boards, mate. He said, yeah. Miguel says, well, line some boards up. Yeah, mate, I'll do maybe 20 boards, 25 boards. And Neville comes over, and he gets here, and he's got one order for Nuno Jonet, who's a good friend of ours, and that to start with, you know, and he there's some black light. Yeah, that's black. No, well, that's a work off. He did one, and he said, yeah, mate, you know, I'll do one more, but I don't want to do one. I did 2 boards.
And just take pictures of the blank. I must show that my mates. I
I can't believe this thing. You guys are working with this, Mike. And he did 2 boards. He said, I'm not going to do any more, you know. Yeah, it wasn't easy. You'd start like planing crossways, and then you go back and forth once you get the hump out of the middle. That was crazy.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah. But yeah.
When did that,
No, when we really think the work that we had to do a board compared with nowadays is no work. Nowadays, if you're thinking everything, the things don't need to be things like even the leash plug. We are doing the bridge, you know.
Yeah, we're doing the bridges. We got glass on fins,
the machines, you know, the shaping machines.
Yeah, it was crazy. It's like, I mean, it's what it was.
Polish at that time, Nick. Nick, at that time, all boards were polished. Do you remember?
Yeah,
all polished. Much more work. After the dry
gloss, polish,
and then
all that.
There was more resin, more.
Yeah, it's a big difference these days. But
and polish with fixed fins, like with the fins. So you must be careful.
Yeah. Ow. Every time you caught a fin, you ripped the woolly, or the board flew off the rack or whatever. Yeah. A lot of old.
So nowadays,
a lot of horror stories about polish.
You know what? So you can go with the machine like that. You know, you saw him sending. He can go zzz.
But it's crazy.
We went from the fins were there.
Went from that to, you know, eventually like importing 2 and 3 containers a year from Clark Foam in America with the resin, with the glass, with the foam, with everything, you know. And it, you know, when it became more of an industry, took years, but I mean, it happened. And we put foam containers a year.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yes. Yeah,
2 40-foot high tops with resin, with glass, with blanks, everything, paint.
And then green foam finished, then we start importing
textile. Yeah.
Not Bennett first, or textile.
Maybe Bennett.
I don't remember.
Oh yeah, one or the other.
Or from Australia or from Brazil.
But
I imagine the blanks feel different for shaping. Any craftsman's going to have a sense for working with a different element. But for the surfers, what they feel. Do they kind of surfer feel the difference? Are there different attributes to blanks, of string or durability?
I drive this guy crazy because I'm always like beating the blank, feel the vibration of the blank or a finished board.
And I say, hey, why are you beating deck? Why are you beating?
I'm like, feel the vibration.
The pros, they can feel.
Yeah.
I don't feel.
Yeah.
So
I think John Doe, you know, can't feel it, but a pro can definitely feel the difference between a like sensible board with a real sensitive board with springy blank as compared to a dead steady blank, you know. Because there are blanks that are more springy and more alive than than others, and the flex and the feed, you know, the feedback get off them. But like the more talented the surfer, the more it makes, he's going to feel it, the more he's going to feel that sensation.
That's his paranoia. I like him because of that. That's good. It's good. I joke with him, but it's good. It's good.
We hear the same thing when people come to the pool. They say, like, typically it's true that buoyancy is different in the salt versus freshwater, but for 99%,
No, don't feel 99%.
your surfing's the problem. Right?
Yeah,
A board doesn't.
Right.
And I think you'll probably is exactly the same. The pro guys, for sure, the top 1% will be able to feel maybe some difference and dial it in.
But that's one of those crazy things we were talking about, like online thing. Like you get someone comes and says, I want to get this board, but I'm going to be surfing more, and they see this online and they get it in their head. I'm going to be surfing more like in wave pool than I'm in the ocean. So make sure that the leaders are, and you're going like, oh, give me a break, man. This guy, but that's the way it is. People read stuff online and that's, so.
It's normal. Yeah.
You're talking about this earlier, the customer journey of that's why digital media seems to be so important in this world, because people go out and do their research. They have a passion for the sport boards. Yeah. They want to compare. They're trying to make a decision.
Get in there.
Yeah. So it's normal.
When it's also
and it's so many information nowadays that they even
tons.
That's normal, Yeah. They go here and then they go there. Oh, they say another different thing going. So much information. So then they do these questions. It's what this is normal.
Wow.
It seems very much the case that yes, marketing's important, all this stuff, and that probably what funnels most people's attention. But as soon as you meet a good shaper on brands, and then start that relationship, and actually then the personality comes out, knowledge comes out, then it's like the whole different world of I had this board, and then the comments say, what felt like this, or okay, maybe you should try this, and then must have something good.
Yeah, they must trust.
It's right off the rack. I want to surf like this person that's using it. It's a very different experience. So.
I think it's super important. Like if you can bridge it. I mean, if you can extend or express that personal thing that you want to give that to a client, but trying to express that online, and make it a package so that if someone does get here, they're going to get, if they do make it to your door, they're going to experience what your company has to offer, but keep it warm and cozy online also. You know what I mean? But it is important to have the online part set up.
For sure. That's just the world in it. Maybe let's talk about your current lineup of your products and boards. Obviously, we were chatting a little bit earlier, but Nick was saying that you guys the boards are specific for certain waves. You're based here in Alcena. Portugal's got certain waves and certain surfers. So you're very well known for good waves, good surface and so forth. But maybe you could just talk about what your broader lineup now in your boards are, as you can cater for. Just open question to talk about your surfboard ranges.
Well, from the beginning, I think, that, like I say, I was telling you before, the base of, as a shaper, the base of our growth, the base of designs and all that, always played a strong part of it has always been the feedback from good surfers.
Team riders?
Yeah, team riders and good surfers.
Talk with them.
But also from all of friends and that have been, followers and people I've worked with for years making surfboards for them, older guys and all that. So it's like complete. I think if I look at the package now that we have, it's direction that everybody, beginners, travelers who are coming through that want, boards for local waves, people that are looking for mid-length or longboard, people bring their kids up that want a board they're starting on, they want to get involved in competition or whatnot. Good surfers from other countries that know that if they come here, they're going to get a high-performance board for whatever waves there are in Portugal. So I think it's pretty complete. I can't define like what our business is these days to just one little niche of the market, you know what I mean? And we do like mid-lengths are in the trend, 20s are in the trend. If we've got, like I have with Daniel working with me, and also we've got, high line products on those points, those trends that people are, fully focused on today. Like, it's like say the fats come.
You have many different types of
models, 20s.
So is what he says. He must be
step up
for
20s.
all markets. Yeah, it's not just this or that or.
Yeah, and so for a normal person who applies the brand, they don't just have to buy off the shelf. They can come to you, right, and they can talk to you about their needs and their board, and you engage, communicate. And maybe just talk about that. Maybe that people don't know that they can actually have access to you guys.
Yeah, they can talk with the shaper. Yeah.
Yes, it's maybe talk through the experience.
Many people want to talk with the shaper because have doubts.
We've got like a warehouse now. We've got people that know how to.
Even Jackie, she knows already.
My daughter
about the boards when they came here, and she can explain that or that. We have also Mario that works here for 30-something years.
30-something years.
So he knows many things about boards to explain to customers when they came here.
Yeah, if they can find something off the rack, all good. If not, there's guy wants to come over and order a board, or we'll either come over to the factory, meet him here, or they'll be sent over and we'll sit down in front of the computer and design up a board for them,
And you were sort of saying before that you can like have conversation at the email, phone call, or you can create a board which you like using, and you guys will definitely starting
Exactly.
for the
Yeah,
conversation.
yeah. We'll have like I say, we'll communicate by email. A guy can come and order it here. If I'm not around, leave me a telephone number and I'll call him. I'll talk about what he's, anything, he want to talk about as far as what he wants in the board. If we think it's important for him to come around to show me a board he's got, or, to show me something else or talk to me a bit more, he'll come around, but yeah, it's like I said, still keeping it kind of personal because it's,
No, we still keep it.
yeah, it's just
We old-fashioned,
pump.
I like, the old-fashioned, like talk, not just email.
Bringing in fresh people to modernize, because there are parts of the business that have to be modernized, or you will die. You'll disappear. So you have to modernize your business. You have to bring it up to beat as far as like information goes, as far as your computerized stuff goes. Your stocking, all that stuff. And social media wise, you have to bring it up.
When we started it was nothing about that. Nothing. No computers, no mobile phones, nothing.
Oh, we set some good faxes.
But that was the first thing. When we started, it was no faxes.
I remember saying to my old man, to my father at one point, "Hey, Dad, you should get like this computer thing going. You should get because we can do emails to each other." Dad said, "Computers, nah, that's for your generation." As my dad saying, "That computers, I don't want to know about it." That wasn't too long ago. But I mean,
it's
the way things
quick, quick.
I remember faxes like
Yeah. And it was it was top,
And then Miguel's father, because if he was always save records, can't save the fax. You have to take a photocopy of the fax because the fax disappears.
Disappears, you remember? If you don't take it disappears. So he teaches it. And must take a photocopy of the fax. It's true, if you remember. Even if you go with the finger like that, you remember he was doing black.
All day, man. Classics.
Okay, so what's interesting for you guys in surfing at the moment? Where's the brand going? What do you think the future is? Either in board design or types of people, or where do you think the brand's going to be found, like with wave pools? So what's the future look like?
I think I'll start and fill in on that, Miguel. I think our intention, I think, is just that the brand, we're not going to live forever, and we're not going to be in the business probably forever. But we'd like to see the brand carry on, and then our intention is to keep the brand moving forward. And, just for me, the most important thing is keep the core, not lose the personal part of it, not lose the communication part of it, keeping that alive in an old school way with fresher people around it too, because it is important. You have to get up to speed with the rest, progress in the world in general. And, I think surfboard design I'll always be involved in. I always want to be involved in it. We always, will be up to speed and want to be up to speed on that, and creative in new things in surfboards also. And I think, looking to bring our clothing label back into, because that was a big part of it back in the day. It was huge at one point. We'd like to probably get that rolling again.
Yeah.
I think that goes hand in hand now with the digital, the merchandise. Can be, if people associate with the brand and they want to be part of that journey. I think like you see the online guys, they have to have merchandise.
Yeah.
Maybe stop. You're sporting the original logo, right?
It is.
So what does that stand for? What is what's the growth?
Something new.
Something.
Yeah, something new that was going to grow. Cement means seed, which is that, right? Now, the idea was, something that was going to grow, something that was going to sprout and start and, carry on. I was putting on the other one here. No, the other one?
Tree. Where is the tree?
Yeah. There was a one after that. There was one later on, a design we did that was like just seed with a bunch of sprouts coming out, and a bunch of surfboards on every sprout.
Yeah.
Had to raise a light in that. It was kind of like looked like one of the posters from San Francisco Haight-Ashbury days, you know, from way back then. But it was a really nice T-shirt, that one. Yeah. It was like, I was not 25.
Yeah.
After about 25 years or something like that, you know. But yeah, so that was it. The original idea was, you know, let's think of something that, you know, and probably in the beginning, honestly, if we would have picked an English name, we probably would have been better off. Because
That makes a lot of sense.
For you.
no, but I mean in general.
And in general, yeah.
Generally, you know, selling a brand with an English name is always easier than like put which, you know, we went national on it, you know, and I'm glad we did. Like,
But we were proud. That's Portuguese name. We were proud of it. But it's true what he says, you know. But now we're
gonna stick with it after 43 years. Huh? We're not gonna change it.
Well, the good thing is surfing, there's lots of creative people and, you know, different designs and stuff like that. So if you talk about fresh blood, it must be, there'll probably be some opportunity there for some keeping the original DNA in, but a little bit of fresh blood coming in.
Yeah, no, that's very important, yeah. Jackie, you know?
Yeah.
She's starting, como é que se diz, desenvolver coisas.
Yeah, my daughter's gotten involved in like starting to move on, you know, some of the new clothes stuff,
you know,
weird stuff, and just
like she laughs from us and come on, okay, Jackie, please do me that, you know. That's normal. That's normal.
There you go.
And we must keep like also going with the world, you know.
You also still got the little black book in case the computer world disaster or doll falls in. I've got the accounts.
Slightly different generation. And already she starts to say things.
And she say, hey, Dad. Yeah. Like my kids, hey, Dad, come on, you know. So no, that's, we need, you know. That's normal. All companies.
Yeah. I mean, one thing that strikes me from having met with guys this morning is the kind of authenticity, a genuine passion. You know, we talked about saying like shared values and vision, but just even the team drivers you have, the brand, what I've done with it, it comes from a real place of authenticity that you just love surfing and love that kind of that freedom you get from it. Like, that's going to be quite important to keep going. That's kind of what your brand represents as well.
Yeah. Oh, it has to be. I think, you know, like you say, if you know, I hate to think of a life with a job that I have no passion for. You know what I mean? Something that like totally didn't interest me, to spend my whole life doing something I didn't want to do. You know, that'd be horrible. You know, I remember I worked under my dad at the Hilton in Beverly Hills as a waiter. And I thought to myself at the time, if I had to do this my entire life, man, Jesus Christ. You know, it was banquet service that was hectic and it was crazy. And there were people that were old that had done that their entire life. They'd worked in that business. I thought, man, I would never want to do this, you know. So I think we're very fortunate to have done something we like to do all these years, you know. And I think, you know, it's super important. If you have to have passion for what you do, and that makes a total difference in the success or failure of a business for sure also.
Yeah, I think people resonate if they smell that you're just doing something just for money. I think it repels people. But when they find like someone who's just passionate and just fully, I think it changes people's minds.
Yeah,
they just feel real. And
wow.
All right, look, I've taken loads of your time already. You've done Factory Tour. We'll put that on as well. And
don't give me another link.
No, this is it. Do the link together. Links me up. I'm trying to like link questions. So the question before was about sustainability and said, well, that was coming from another shaper. The next people I'm going to go and see, next shaper, maybe there's a question from you guys. And again, maybe you come up with a question, which I could ask the next person. And it can be fun. It can be serious.
Okay.
Anything you want. You can stitch them up. You can get to...
Why are you doing that? Por que estás a fazer isso? Ou como é que se diz?
It's another shaper?
Yeah, another shaper.
Yeah. Ask him why he says, why do you continue doing it?
Okay. Great question. Why do you continue shooting?
Yes.
Okay, great. Awesome.
All right.
Yeah, perfect, guys.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you, James. Nice to meet you.
Good luck to you. Yeah. Pleasure, man. All right.
In the next vlog, we compare the barrels and the new turns and tube setting at Lost Shore. What's different between the two sessions and whether you should give it a go. Until then, enjoy your surfing wherever it may be.